about my dad. Y'all know this. He passed away in '96 at 58. He was the mayor of our hometown, West Virginia. I think many of you know he didn't get the chance to graduate high school. He was a young parent. He and my mom had an older brother when they were in high school, so my dad joined the Army and got a GED. My mom graduated high school, and their dream was to send all their kids to college, which they did. And so I go back home. I have my master's degree. I've been at Pepsi. I've been at 7-Up. I've been at this direct mail marketing company doing database modeling and algorithms. I fly home to watch my dad on July 4th, and it's a small town of 3,100 people, and he's in one of these gazebos in a southern town. He's giving his mayor speech, and he uses the word ain't about a half dozen times. If you all heard this. Afterwards, I'll walk up and say, may I give you some feedback? This is before I read the 3-to-1. My dad said, sure. And I said, hey, you use the word ain't about a half a dozen times. You never let my brothers and I use the word ain't at the kitchen table. What gives? And he said, are you really wanting to help me get better, or are you embarrassed? And I said, honestly, Dad, probably a little bit of both. And he said, well, let me tell you what, son, this is who I am. And this is who they are. If they can see me stand up here and be the flawed human being I am and still be the mayor, then they will go home and look in the mirror and say, maybe one day I can be mayor too. And he said, don't ever forget something. People prefer their leaders with flaws, because that makes leadership more attainable for the rest of us. We all go home and look in the mirror, and we see our gray hair, we see I'm getting a little muffin top or whatever, and we're like, oh my God, our own worst critics. And we hope no one sees those vulnerabilities and flaws. And the truth is, everyone, me, Bill Campbell, Scott, everybody is the same way. And so the more willing you are to be vulnerable, the more safe of an environment you create for your team, so they're willing to make mistakes and get up and dust themselves off and try again. The best piece of advice I ever got is just be vulnerable and admit your mistakes and create that space for everybody else.